Yeah, still on the Davido wedding that took place in Miami, and the spectacle. I mean, just the fun of it. I mean, we really thank God that everything went on fine. But just when we thought it was just all about the wedding, then broke out that Ubi Franklin's wristwatch matter, that came from nowhere. Okay, so now I'm not going to waste your time on this. I'm just hear this. Okay, so they say when the market gets noisy, even a whisper can sell out a rumor, right? Miami was loud, love was louder, and yet one small whisper tried to hijack the entire celebration. Ubi Franklin stole a wristwatch at Davido's wedding. That was what we later heard. From nowhere. Just like that. No contest, no caution, just speed of light. And before you know it, the whole of Nigerian social media space was reverberating with that rumor. And every blog, every small blog, big blog, decided running with all that. Like I said, there was no contest, no caution, just the speed of light, you know, running with that rumor. The kind of gist that travels on the back of outrage, rides first class on algorithm, and lands in your phone before you can even say, calm down, give me evidence. That was what happened. Picture the scene, palm trees swaying, cameras flashing, and Chivido fairy tale in cruise control. Then boom, screenshot without sources, captions without caution, TikTok voice overs with confidence lies. When there's a way, if you see some of the way some lies fly so confidently, and blogs that survive on adrenaline more than accuracy, all of them went on full sway. They claim that Ubi carried someone's luxury watch. Some even named Davido's jeweler Benny, that he stole his watch. Can you imagine that sort of rumor? That Ubi carries someone's watch, that is Benny now, as if a man could just, talk six figures on his wrist and vanish in the middle of an A-list chaos. Basbos everywhere, commentary flying like confetti, people trading narratives like clots, and the wedding hashtag fighting for its life against the rumor hashtag. And this is what people do. This Chivido hashtag has been trending all over the place. And now this rumor came. You can imagine that hashtag Chivido. Now, dragging space with the rumor hashtag. This is crazy, right? But every rumor meets a wall, right? And this one hits a statement. Ubi Franklin stepped out almost immediately. Firm voice, steady words. He said the story was completely false and misleading. According to him, a jeweler offered him a piece. He did not take the first option because he did not like the backstory. Talk about backstory. Talk about previous ownership. I think he said that the person who used it before maybe didn't like the story about the person or something, so he turned the first one down. Okay? So, and makes the buyer just so later it was said that a different watch was delivered, reportedly by the jeweler's younger brother, and he paid for it. I mean, they said he paid for it. He said he paid for it. So payment was done. There was no pilfering. Receipt was given, not robbery. That's his account. That's Ubi Franklin's account. Calm, direct, and carry the kind of detail that rumor really bothers to include. Of course, the people who are peddling this rumor will not include all of this. Now, zoom to Davido's corner because Davido has something to say about this. The groom did not mince words. In the spirit of enough is enough, he dismissed the talk as nonsense, told the clap chasers to rest, and refused to let cheap talk stand a day he called a fairy tale. Yes, that his wedding was a fairy tale indeed. Think about that for a second. A world-class wedding, a once-in-a-lifetime moment. Then strangers on the internet try to plant a storm in the middle of the dance floor. Who does that? You see why outrage sells a lot, right? Because it tries to become the main character, even at somebody else's wedding. Can you imagine this? Inside circle reactions fuel the fire, and the extinguishers at the same time. A laughing emoji here. They said one of Davido's brother or close confidant had posted a laughing emoji, which kind of, a subtweet there, small spark here and there. And before you know, that emoji alone now, like it became like adding fire to the whole thing. Okay? And then lies stepped out. Colleagues had to come out to defend Ubi Franklin, insisting the story had already been debunked by the jeweler himself, and that the whole commotion was born from dislike, envy, or the raw business of traffic. Some even allege it's set up by haters, those faceless online shadows, that want your name trending for the wrong reasons. And I think most Nigerians should be familiar with this, right? Of course, we should. This is the Nigerian internet we're talking about. Rumor is a hustler. Truth is a civil servant. One runs, the other works. Unfortunately, this is the spectacle with Nigeria today. The internet of Nigeria, that is how it runs today. Now, let's talk about evidence. The part many people skip because it is not as sweet as the scandal. Of course, the bloggers will not talk about receipts or evidence. Okay, if they do that, the story don't end now. So, but let's talk about evidence. For all the screaming headlines, there was no official police report that surfaced. No formal complaint. No clip of a jeweler calling theft. Not one verifiable primary statement from the supposed victim, Benny. Okay? And Benny was standing on his own word, on his own platform, saying this watch was stolen. There was no such talk from the Benny himself, who is supposed to be the victim. On his platform, there's nothing there saying this watch was stolen. What we got was the sound of a million retweets, and the silence were real documentation, and stuff like that. So how did this stealing thing now happen? So the silence is not glamorous, but it is loud, very, very loud. If your gist cannot survive in front of a DPO or a courtroom, maybe it is only strong enough for the explore page. Okay? So let's rewind the timeline a little, the way sensible people do. Rumor erupted online, right? Some said it started with a blog post. Others said a voice note. Ubi replied, clear, specific, insisting he bought, not stole. He mentioned declining one piece. Of course, he said he didn't like the first one. He declined it. And he now said he paid for another. He pointed to the jeweler's camp, allegedly debunking such claim as well. Davido backed him and basically stamped the rumor, do not disturb. The wedding stayed beautiful. The couple stayed married. And the so-called scandal without paperwork, without complainant, without that one decisive voice note from the actual owner, began to look like what it always was, a loud distraction. So this would be Franklin's theft or no theft. Was just a distraction. I tell you. It was a big, big, big distraction. And I'm so surprised that Ubi Franklin now became the scapegoat to be used for such narrative. But why does something, this flimsy have to fly? You want to know why? Because scandal feels like fast food. Hot, cheap, everywhere. And you don't have to cook. That is how scandal is. People want the adrenaline of gotcha. The economy, of attention favors drama. Drama will always get attention any day, anytime. Blogs need clicks. Pages need numbers. A wedding this grand will always have vultures circling for scraps. And if they cannot find one, they will throw a stone in the market and watch everybody run. Unfortunately, that is how the media space, the internet works today. A Yoruba proverb says, a lie can travel for years. Truth catches it in a day. Sometimes the truth arrives with receipts. Sometimes it arrives with absence of any case file at all, like in this case. What about the jeweler's angle? That's the interesting hole in the plot. If your piece goes missing in a room full of stars and cameras, and you know the alleged culprits, You won't be shy. Obviously, jewelers live by reputation. A public on record statement will have ended this overnight. Instead, what we got was he said, and I heard somebody said, while the only named party who spoke at length, the accused, laid out a timeline where he declined one watch and paid for another. That is Ubi Franklin. If the supposed owner felt wronged, where is his clear, direct, and primary claim? Where is the serial number, the invoice, the proof of loss? In a case like this, silence speaks in paragraphs. I'm very, very loud, I tell you, my people. Now, let's enter the conspiracy kitchen properly, because the whole thing is looking like a conspiracy, right? Because the audience loves pepper soup. Was this rumor spun deliberately to stain Davido's marriage? I'm asking. Was it crafted to sow discord on a perfect day? To shift headlines from love to scandal? To feed the algorithm with a scandal-flavored stew? It is possible. In Nigeria, my country, everything is very, very possible. Big moments attract big mischief. If your plan was to steal joy, the easiest tool is suggestion. Plant doubt. Tag a familiar name. Pretend you are protecting the truth while you harvest engagement. You understand? Okay? So for me, why you harvest? The couple is dancing, right? The vows are sealed. The photos are already framed. The plan fails, but the noise lingers. Let's not ignore the human being in the crossfire, the very personality involved in this crossfire. Ubi Franklin is not just a headline. He is a person who, if telling the truth, watch his name get dragged for a crime, he says, never happened. Davido is not just a trending topic. He is a human, he's a husband before being a human. And he doesn't, he's someone who did not want to wake up in the morning after his wedding to a manufactured mess. The audience is not just comment section. We are people who can be manipulated into becoming unpaid PRO for lies. We have to do better as a people. Before you become the courier, for a rumor, at least ask, who said so? Where is the primary source? Is there a report, a complaint, a document? If the gist cannot stand on its feet, why should it stand on your page? That is what I'm asking right now. Now, pause and rewind that first claim one last time. They said he stole a watch, right? In a crowd that size, in the middle of phones, drones, and press, with the world watching, and no owner standing up to say, that's mine, and I want it back. No CCTV clip, no security report, no police incident. But there is a denier with a purchase story. There is a groom who who flatly rejects the rumor. There are colleagues voicing, and there's an internet that keeps asking the wrong questions. The real question is not, did we enjoy the scandal? The real question is, where is the evidence? Outrage is not evidence. Volume is not evidence. Virality is not evidence as well. Sometimes the cleanest truth is boring. A man tried to wash, did not like he tried the wash, did not like the backstory behind the watch that was presented to him. I'm talking about the person who used the watch before. He didn't like the backstory behind it. He turned it down. He chose another one, paid for it, and left. The wedding continued. The couple smiled. The rumor ran around the block and ran out of breath. And remember, if there was a crime, there will be a case. If there was a theft, there will be a complainant. If there was a complainant, there will be a paper, something like a paper trial. What we got instead was smoke without fire, followed by a strong gust of reality. So here's my final words. to the rumor mill. The person who throws sand into a pot of soup will not be invited for tasting. If you wanted to stay in a wedding, you miscalculated already. Love was louder. If you wanted to discredit a marriage, you underestimated resilience. And to you listening to the sound of my voice, yes, you with the share button, don't let your tongue become a weapon. Demand receipts when next you hear things like this. Ask for the source. Remember that a dignified silence can sometimes be the loudest proof that nothing truly happened. And with this, I want to end by saying, and this is where I'm going to leave it: rumor on one side, receipt on the other, and a fairy tale that refused to be hijacked. The drum that lies about its owner will spill the sun. May our timelines be wiser, our clicks be kinder, and our gist be grounded in truth. If you enjoy this breakdown that I've given to you, which to the best of my research, to the best of my understanding, because I've curated the social media space and looked at it from all angles. So if you have enjoyed this my breakdown, bring your friends. If you learned something, bring your caution. Tomorrow, the internet will try again. But let's be ready, my people. And with this, I want to just end it here because this story is becoming too long. God bless you and enjoy the rest of the day. Bye bye.